So poops, to some of you, DAP is infallible, DAP can do no wrong. Which is quite unfortunate for you because today we'll talk about that time when DAP lost Sabah. So poops, the Sabah state elections are over and the DAP has officially lost. They contested 8 different seats and in all 8 of those seats, they just lost over and over again. And to add insult to injury, they also lost seats in their old fortresses, which basically means that their old supporters were ditching them. Here we are in the aftermath of the election, and Anthony Loke is taking responsibility, wishing everyone well. All very gentlemanly, I'm sure. But I guess that begs the question, what exactly is he taking responsibility for? Well, it's easier to talk about what he's not taking responsibility for. See, yes, PAS won a seat with good old Ali Akbar celebrating. True, but it's not a race thing. If you look at the candidates, you'll notice that in a lot of the seats that DAP contested, the winners were Chinese as well, and they were part of Warisan. Look deeper and you'll understand that actually it's even more complex than that. The candidates Chong and Justin Wong, who won Elopura and Sri Tanjong, were very much Chinese. But see, the thing is that they were also ex-DAP members with complaints about the party for being out of touch not actually dealing with stuff. And if you go around social media, then you'll see that there's a larger scale of complaints with people talking about how their representatives talk a lot about building dams and stuff like that, but they actually just never show up. How it doesn't feel like the constituency is actually led by people who care. People with complaints about how the roads don't get fixed, the trash is not taken out here, there and everywhere. Even as people discover that the DAP reps that they elected once upon a time weren't actually the saviors that they hoped would be. Even as the DAP switched people around thinking that they could switch one savior for another, even as they overestimated them, because apparently Sabahans didn't think that these people were saviors. And you know, this is actually a big problem with the Madani government, and that PAS is very good at, because they actually go out and they make an effort to brainwash, engage with people, which is something that people actually enjoy or appreciate, because there is that human aspect to politics, and getting to know your rep is, I guess, a pretty important thing for people to actually want to cast their votes for you rather than just thinking that, oh, because you're DAP, you're automatically better. But that aside also, there is the whole Albert Tei and Shamsul thing, which is ongoing right now as people fight it out in courts, which, based on what I'm hearing from different WhatsApp groups here and there, is actually causing people to move away from trusting the Madani government, at least completely. And however much people make statements, it's not a good look, and the fact that DAP is in the unity government doesn't really help. But yeah, now if you look at the results of the surface, it will be very easy to just say that, oh, it's an MA63 thing. People are angry about the unfulfilled promises, the 40%, but these people aren't fulfilling it. They're not taking Borneo seriously. But in my mind, if it really were just an MA63 swing vote away from Peninsula, which is, by the way, a very valid interpretation, then in that case, then BN wouldn't have won. You wouldn't have a need for any Zahid Hamidi post of him praying. No need for any of that. Just be all Sabah for Sabahans. Kick out West Malaysia. Kick out Putrajaya. So GRS and everybody else can win. And eventually Sabah and Sarawak can break away. But no, that's not what happened. Because DAP, actually lost. And if we look back at it, I think that DAP is right to reflect. Because yes, you can make all sorts of claims about how, oh, Sabahans want Sabah for themselves. No more treating Sabah like a resource colony. But honestly, I feel like if DAP were to just change how they engage within the party and also with external parties like the media as well, as we saw with the Ngakoming drama, then maybe they could have avoided the defections of Kelvin Chong, Justin Wong and Frankie Poon, who were, and may I remind you, their own people, and they could have actually engaged with the local people a lot more. And I don't claim to have mastered it, but I think that if there's a lesson here, then maybe it's just in terms of human relations, being able to actually engage with people to genuinely show that you actually are able to do stuff. Whatever it is, I'm sure that that's an issue for DAP to handle. But what I can say about that is, remember, nobody is infallible. You can't just be a part of a party and then expect the aura to carry through. And well, if this is what the DAP needed to wake up and make sure it's not seen as complacent, irrelevant, MCA 2.0, and if it really believes in a social democratic society that is non-communal, multiracial, and aligned towards social justice, then I hope that they can deliver that message and not just show up for elections and expect to win on the rocket card. And they better learn how to do that before GE16 and that one pass seat turns into the entire government becoming #green wave, after which I have no idea if there's even going to be a Malaysia left. Alright, and that's the time that DAP lost Sabah. Let me know what you think in the comments and I will see you in the next ones. Bye!